A major event during the Master's visit to America was the dedication of the land for the first Baha'i house of worship of the Western Hemisphere in Wilmette, Illinois. Mrs. Nettie Tobin lived nearby in Chicago and was anxious to contribute something, despite the fact that she was not well off. The following is her account of how she solved the problem. I had heard that the Master was to be at the temple site on May 1st, and I thought that he should have a suitable stone to mark the location of the temple. So I went to a building under construction near my home, and seeing a pile of stones at a wall, I asked the builder if I could get a stone. He said, "Sure, help yourself. These are rejected." So I went home, got an old, small baby carriage, loaded the stone into it, and wheeled it home. Early the next morning, with the help of a Persian friend, I wheeled the carriage to the car line, and against the protests of the conductor, we got the carriage onto the platform of the car. We made 2 changes, and finally, after endless delays, we got the baby carriage to the corner of Central Street and Sheridan Road. Here, when we pushed the carriage over a broken pavement, it collapsed. As we stood despairing of getting the stone to the temple grounds in time, since the hour had passed for the service, 2 boys with an express wagon came along. The boys were quickly persuaded to lend their wagon for the transportation, and so we finally came to the grounds. Imagine my joy when the stone refused by the builder was received and used by the Master. His kind heart went out to those who were ill. If he could alleviate a pain or discomfort, he set about to do so. We are told that one old couple who were ill in bed for a month had 20 visits from the Master during that time. In Akka, he daily sent a servant to inquire about the welfare of the ill. And as there was no hospital in the town, he paid a doctor a regular salary to look after the poor. The doctor was instructed not to tell who provided this service. When a poor and crippled woman was shunned on contracting measles, the Master, on being informed, immediately engaged a woman to care for her, took a room, put comfortable bedding, his own, into it, called the doctor, sent food, and everything she needed. He went to see that she had every attention, and when she died in peace and comfort, he it was who arranged her simple funeral, paying all charges. A man ill with tuberculosis was avoided by his friends. Even his family was fearful and hardly dared enter his room. The Master needed only to hear of it, and thereafter went daily to the sick man, took him delicacies, read and discoursed to him, and was alone with him when he died. While in San Francisco, Abdu'l-Baha visited a black believer, Mr. Charles Tinsley, who had been confined to bed for a long time with a broken leg. The Master said to him, "You must not be sad. This affliction will make you spiritually stronger. Do not be sad. Cheer up. Praise be to God. You are dear to me." The Master delivered a short talk in New York City, which included the following: "We should all visit the sick. When they are in sorrow and suffering, it is a real help and benefit to have a friend come. Happiness is a great healer to those who are ill. In the East, it is the custom to call upon the patient often and meet him individually. The people in the East show the utmost kindness and compassion to the sick and suffering. This has greater effect than the remedy itself. You must always have this thought of love and affection when you visit the ailing and afflicted. Later, Abdu'l-Baha asserted, Baha'u'llah is the real physician. He has diagnosed human conditions and indicated the necessary treatment. The essential principles of his healing remedies are the knowledge and love of God, severance from all else save God, turning our faces in sincerity toward the kingdom of God, implicit faith, firmness and fidelity, loving kindness toward all creatures, and the acquisition of the divine virtues indicated for the human world. These are the fundamental principles of progress, civilization, international peace, and the unity of mankind. These are the essentials of Baha'u'llah's teachings, the secret of everlasting health, the remedy and healing for man. Juliet Thompson and other Baha'is decided to give the Master a birthday party, and a few of them baked a cake. She reported, "We took several taxis to the Bronx, with the Master riding in the first one. As soon as his taxi had arrived there, the Master got out and walked into the park ahead of the rest of us. A group of young boys gathered around him and started to laugh. 2 or 3 of them threw stones at him. With natural concern, many of the friends hurried towards the Master, but he told them to stay away. The boys came closer to the Master, jeered at him, and pulled at his clothes. The Master did not become cross. He merely smiled at them radiantly. But the boys continued to behave as before. Then the Master turned towards the friends. 'Bring me the cake,' he said. No one had mentioned to him that we had brought a cake. Some of us said, 'But Abdu'l-Baha, the cake is for your birthday.' He repeated, 'Bring me the cake.' A friend uncovered a large sponge cake with white icing and gave it to the Master. As soon as the boys had seen the cake, they began to calm down and stared at the cake hungrily. The Master took it in his hands and looked at the cake with pleasure. The boys were now standing quietly around him. 'Bring me a knife,' said the Master. A friend brought him a knife. The Master counted the number of boys who were standing around him, and then cut the cake into the same number of pieces. Each boy eagerly took a piece, ate it with relish, and then ran away happily. Juliet Thompson was painting the Master's portrait in America. Lua Getzinger and Mae Maxwell came into the library, crossed over to where she was sitting, and stood behind her. The Master looked up and smiled at Mae. "You have a kind heart, Mrs. Maxwell." Then he turned to Lua. "You, Lua, have a tender heart." "And what kind of heart have you, Juliet?" He laughed. "What kind of a heart have you?" "Oh, what kind of a heart have I? You know, my lord, I don't." "An emotional heart." He laughed again and rolled his hands one round the other in a sort of tempestuous gesture. "You will have a boiling heart, Juliet, now," he continued. "If these 3 hearts were united into one heart, kind, tender, and emotional, what a great heart that would be." Discipline. Kindness lies at the heart of loving discipline. Abdu'l-Baha dearly loved his little grandson Shoghi, but he needed to learn to be on time. This he learned very early in his life, after receiving one good chastisement from no other hand than that of his grandfather. He then became the first to get up for the family prayers and breakfast. The Master also dearly loved his devoted disciple, Juliet Thompson. In her diary, she wrote about a visit with him in New York City in November 1912. "One day," she wrote, I had been very naughty with Mama that day and had grieved her. My precious mother was brought up in luxury, lived in luxury until Papa died. She cannot get over her sensitiveness about our too apparent poverty, and she simply won't have people to meals. I had begged her to make an exception of Mirza Ali Akbar, who was arriving at such an awkward hour, and to let me bring him back for lunch. But she wouldn't hear of it. Whereupon I flew into a temper, told her what I thought of her false pride, and stamped out of the house. Now, entering the master's house with the 3 Persians, instead of a welcome, I received a blow. The master didn't even look at me. "How is your mother?" were his first words. "Is she happy?" Then he told me to go straight back to her, but to return the next day. I went back and comforted her with his rebuke to me. On one occasion, 2 young boys, Shoghi Effendi and his first cousin, Ruhi Effendi, entered the presence of Abdu'l-Baha. The master looked at them thoughtfully and then remarked to Ruhi Effendi, "If you can't wear a happy, pleasant expression on your face like Shoghi Effendi, then you are excused."